it's not like I have penis envy or anything. I just want to be able to pee wherever I want. You know, I just want to be able to walk outside and pee and be one with nature.
Well, you know, like, it's easy for guys to do it, but for girls it's just not convenient. I mean, you have to, like, squat and everything. Girls are put into a box by their gender. What's appropriate and conventional for a man is not for a woman.
We're here to change that. We're here to be free. To pee!
I don't prefer to be outside.
Okay, how do you feel about being outside?
I mean, I'd rather pee in a toilet, but if I have to go, I have to go.
How do you feel about guys peeing outside?
If they have to go, they have to go. It's probably easier, though.
How do you feel about guys peeing outside?
I mean, it's a natural process. All animals pee outside.
How do you feel about girls peeing outside?
It's a natural process. All animals pee outside.
How do you feel about guys versus girls peeing outside?
It's easier for guys.
Do you think it's more socially accepted for guys?
I mean, I don't think it's socially accepted for anyone to just rip their pants off outside and just start urinating. But no, it's not socially accepted to rip your pants off outside.
How do you feel about guys peeing outside?
That's gross.
How do you feel about girls peeing outside?
That's even worse.
It was both uncomfortable and liberating, I guess.
It was uncomfortable, but it was liberating.
I feel like it's really awkward if girls pee outside.
Uncomfortable. Like I don't really like peeing outside.
How do you feel about guys peeing outside?
I think it's more acceptable
Why is that?
because, I don't know, when I see people peeing on the side of the road, it's more them. Well, I don't know if it's necessarily more acceptable or when I see it, I'm less surprised. That's probably a better term or sentence structure to use.
It is much more than just pull your pants down.
Actually, I have an interesting story on this. My mom has a friend who knows somebody that sells these things that girls can get that like makes you pee like a guy, so it makes it easier. I would if I could, but I don't.
How do you feel about guys peeing outside?
I think they have it lucky.
Because they can just zip it and whip it, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, girls are more complicated.
Have you ever peed outside?
Yeah, of course.
How did it feel?
Glorious.
How do you feel about guys peeing outside?
It's annoying because they can. For girls, it's a lot more difficult. But, I mean, men will do what men will do.
Okay, it's really not that, it's nothing big, no big deal. NBD, bro. I don't think it should be as big of a deal socially. I mean, physically, it's a slightly bigger deal, I guess. It's slightly more convenient for a guy, but I don't think it should be considered any more abnormal or anything.
The media portrays masculinity as this nearly impossible to achieve hyper-masculine stereotype. This persona consists predominantly of a male with bulging muscles the size of cannons, abs as hard as Mount Rushmore, and absolutely no emotion, save for anger and even more anger. Compassion is only included when they are saving damsels in distress, who are mostly bubbly, beautiful, and brainless women.
Furthermore, this persona is most commonly associated with violence and very little else. The effects of this are that little boys and girls view masculinity as this raging bull with no care for the effects of the havoc he wreaks, and no sympathy or empathy because emotion is considered weak. How can you save the brainless bimbo of your dreams if you never tell her that you love her?
How free do you feel to cry? Not at all. I'm really, really embarrassed when I cry. Like, I just run away and hide. So I don't think I cry.
When was the last time you cried?
I don't know. Long time.
Probably like Thursday or something. I cry a lot.
How do you feel about guys crying? Is it okay in public?
I mean, it shows that they're sensitive. I wouldn't say anything's wrong with it. It's just that it's human emotion.
I like it when guys cry. I think it's really funny, but it also makes them look really nice and like makes them look like they have a heart. But I don't. it's okay if they do it in public, but their friends might laugh at them.
I think it's like really attractive and when like guys are sensitive and they cry and it's like, oh, you have feelings. You're not some like muscle man that beats through walls with his fists and etc.
No, if a girl's crying, it probably wouldn't be a big deal, but if people saw a guy crying, I mean, they might get some crude jokes, but I kind of hold on to the idea that people aren't that cool out there, and that I think if you see someone crying outside, you're going to respect them and know that they're actually hurting.
I think because I feel like every time since they're little, like guys are kind of like expected to be more like tough and strong and not let things bother them.
How do you feel about guys crying? Is it okay in public?
I think it's okay, but I kind of feel bad for the backlash that I assume they're going to get if they cry in public.
How do you feel about guys crying versus girls crying? Which is more socially accepted? Girls, but I think it's just because they do it more.
It's more common for girls to cry, and therefore more socially acceptable.
Because girls are supposed to cry. They're sensitive little emotional things. Because we're emotional. We cry.
Where did that come from, that stigma, that stereotype?
The uterus. Just kidding.
If we're speaking to like gender fixtures and societal fixtures, it's probably more acceptable for girls to cry in public, but in my personal opinion, it's permissible and okay and perfectly fine for both genders to cry in public.
It's a sign of weakness. Sometimes guys are always told that they have to be tough, and being tough means being manly and not letting anyone see you cry.
You know, society has that view, and I think a lot of guys are more self-conscious than girls.
I don't think guys think it's okay in public, but I think it's okay in public.
I've never felt that it's weird for a guy to cry.
I would say it is not unusual to see a girl crying because it is the time of month, and people just kind of accept that as a thing.
Socially and culturally, guys are expected to be tougher, more resilient.
No, I would actually say vulnerability is pretty attractive. I mean, we see Hollywood do it when they make the guy just like break down and cry in front of his girlfriend, but it's always when it's just them alone. I don't think part of being a man is like, I don't think part of being a human is hiding your emotions. I mean, such a hypocrite. I don't like to cry in front of people, but I mean, I still have emotions. I mean, if we like take that away, then we're really no better than like a tree or an animal. We're unable to, part of emotions is able to communicate with each other.
Thankfully, real people aren't exactly like that. The enlightened youth of today commonly believe that emotion is finally acceptable for everyone who has an ounce of it. So go forth and share your emotions. But remember, the only way to facilitate a productive emotive environment is to remember to be aware and respectful of others' emotions.
Feminism is not defined by its limitations. Being a feminist requires that you believe in equality for all beings, including all oppressed minorities, and believe in the welfare of all. Being a feminist requires that you understand that society is interdependent, and to coexist properly, we have to believe in being interdependent.
Would you be okay if your child was LGBTQ?
Yes.
Yes, I would love them nonetheless.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Yes.
I would love that.
Absolutely.
I love them anyway, you know?
Yes. It would be interesting. I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
Would you let your children be friends with people who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, or questioning?
They are good children, yes.
Yes.
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Would you go to a GLBTQ friend's wedding?
Yes, because it's love. It's cute. I like it.
They were a really good friend, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
White, blonde, blue-eyed, and skinny are considered the most beautiful characteristics of a woman. It's plastered across ads and strewn through newspapers. Image after image of the same body type, same skin color, same hair color, and the same weight are detrimental to society's view on what is natural and beautiful.
Our subconscious soaks up these images of this Barbie girl. But plastic is not beautiful. Plastic is an object. Real girls are beautiful. Real girls are human. Flesh and blood. We come in different shapes and sizes, skin and hair colors, but we all have something in common. We are all beautiful. We cannot limit ourselves to the media-given definition of beauty. The real definition of beauty includes all of us.
In the end, we have to remember, feminism is what you make it to be. Equality for all is an ideal we've been striving for years. Generation after generation has produced social revolutions that crested in waves of change that swept the nation. Somewhere along the way, we realized something.
In order for this ideal to be realized, it has to start with you. Every single person has to be proud of who they are inside and outside. Society will not accept you if you do not accept yourself.
We'll never be free in action until we are free in mind. Gender is malleable in concept. It is both your limitations and your liberation. It can define you, or you can define it. So take control of your identity. Your gender is part of you. You are not part of your gender.
So define who you are based on who you want to be, not what anyone else expects you to be.
Don't give me that face.
Oh my god, we're putting that in the movie.
Bloopers! Okay, have you ever peed outside?
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
It sucked because I didn't aim right. If that makes sense.
I don't really.
Have you ever peed outside?
No. When I'm watching a movie, I don't like wail, but I guess I feel free to cry if it's like emotional.
Whale.
This is really embarrassing.
You're a beluga.
No, that's not what I meant.